Hello, this is MakerJ11, and I just want to thank you all so much for 10,000 subscribers. 10,000, that's awesome. So I never imagined that I would have been able to get all the way to 10,000 subscribers, and I could have done it without you guys. So thank you all so much. And also, I've received 2.4 million views and over 7 million minutes watched and 13,000 comments, I think, which is just unbelievable. So thank you all so much for that. I really appreciate all the comments. Lately I haven't really been able to reply to them all. I try to reply to some of them, but I would just have to spend hours a day replying to just comments if I was to do that. But I still read most of them, so I do see them, but I just can't really reply to every single one of them like I used to. So yeah, I've started up school for the past 2 weeks, or I've been back in school for 2 weeks now, so I ended my internship, which went pretty well. So I was working at a company that basically, I think I explained it before, but I could explain it again. So I basically worked at a company that they were a medium to small volume manufacturer of circuit boards, or assemblers of circuit boards. So we got the boards from customers, components and stuff like that, and then we basically assembled them. So we have our big pick and place machines that place the SMT components on the boards, and then they would go down to the slide line and get the people would put the components, the through-hole components, onto the boards, go through the wave solder machine, and then they would go to post wave, which would basically, put in post wave, they would basically hand solder any components that were like too close to other SMT components and stuff like that, and then they would go on to test, which is where I was located, in the test department. My job was not too interesting. It was basically take the board, plug it into the test fixture, turn on the power, hit the start button, wait for the test program and to run and everything. Then it would usually have you, depending on the board that I was working on, you might push a couple buttons or probe it with a voltmeter and make sure there's the right voltage at one spot on the board. Just an array of different things depending on the board that you're running. Some of them go in the large the in-circuit tester machine, which basically does everything. You just basically hit start and it runs through everything, powers up the board, and then it actually prints out a sheet of paper that tells you, or if there's a bad board, it prints out a procedure, or a piece of paper that tells you what the components are that are bad. So those are really easy. But when I really never ran that machine because I wasn't really trained on that one. But probably my favorite part was actually troubleshooting the boards. So boards that something went wrong with, like somebody in post wave was or slide line was falling asleep and they put a component on backwards, like capacitor, and then when I powered up, the capacitor would explode. That was fun. That happened a couple times. Or just missing components, often missing SMT components, or bad solder shorts, or yeah, just different things. Even dead bugs. So when a component's upside down, sometimes the SMT machine will do that. Just like if it's in the package, because the SMT components, they come in a reel, and it's a little plastic cartons sort of things that hold the components. So if they're in there upside down, the SMT machine won't really know to flip them over. So if that happens, then yeah, that's not good. So I have to, so if I get a board that won't pass the test, then I have to basically troubleshoot it and figure out why it's not working. And that's probably the funnest thing. Sometimes it's really frustrating though, because I'd get boards that I'd work on for like a long time and I could not figure out what was wrong with them, because the testers are all supplied by the customers, so we don't really know what the testers do or what the boards are actually really supposed to do. We just build them and test them and do what the customer says. So if the board doesn't pass and it's kind of a hidden test inside the tester, we don't really know what the problem is with it, and so I don't know what to look for. I could look for missing components and stuff like that, but that doesn't really tell you much. I mean, if there's a component that's out of spec, it's gonna not operate properly, and then the test will fail. And sometimes there's just a couple boards out of 1,000 that just, we don't know what's wrong with them because they just won't pass, and we can't figure out what's wrong with them. So that's kind of frustrating. But other than that, it's not too bad. I mean, the pay was decent, and I was pretty happy working there. It was not bad. So, but I think next year I'll probably find an internship somewhere else, because I want to kind of get experience with different jobs and stuff like that. So I'll probably look for a similar sort of job, but at a different company. And but yeah, so yeah. What else? So I finished my internship up, and I've been in classes for 2 weeks now. So, and I always get the question, how old are you? I'm 19. I'm going to be 20 here in October. So, yep, getting into the 2 decades old. So, yep. What else? But yes, I've had my channel for 4 years now, I guess. So, pretty long. So it's pretty exciting. But, yeah. So, one of the projects that you guys are going to look forward to here, I'm working on the video. I need to get it edited. I already finished recording the video. I have, like, at least 5 videos that are finished recording, but I need to edit them. I just kind of get stuck in the editing page or editing stage, where I'll get it all loaded into the editing program, start editing it, and then I realize that there's a video piece missing. I'm like, dang, and I just kind of put it on hold for like a long time. But so I built a forge, and so I'm gonna be doing some forging videos. I already have one done, or one recorded. I need to actually building the forge and everything like that. I have that video recorded. I just need to upload it. Hopefully I'll get that uploaded this week. I have a calculus 2 test this week, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get around to doing that this week, but that'll be coming soon. So I forged this knife. This is more like a butter knife, really, but this is just kind of a sneak peek. So I forged out of a nail like this, and then also this was one of my first attempts. This was a railroad spike, but I kind of got it too hot, and it sizzled and burned there. So I probably will scrap this one, unless I cut it off there. I could cut it off up here and then reshape it, but I don't know. This is another attempt here at making a railroad spike knife. I didn't really finish this one. It got dark before I could finish this one, so it needs to be a lot thinner and just pound it out a lot more. It needs to be a railroad spike like that. So, but video of that coming really soon, hopefully, whenever I get around to it. I also have a couple other videos. One of the ones is I did a teardown of the Lennox pulse furnace, so I'll hopefully try to get a video out of that soon. And then also, what else is there? There's probably a video of my car too, but that's kind of boring. I probably won't post that one. Yeah, there's always videos that I make, and I'm like, this is really boring. Why am I going to post this? It's such a waste of time. But, so, I don't know. I'll try to find some more videos here. I have a couple projects in mind that I've been dreaming about for a while. One of them is building an internal combustion engine. I attempted once to make an internal combustion engine, but it failed. So, it didn't fail, it just didn't quite work. It's kind of almost worked. I actually don't even have a picture of it. I don't know why I didn't take a picture of this. Maybe it was just so ugly that... Yeah, it was pretty ugly. It was basically same piston I used for my Stirling engines, just a copper pipe with a JB Weld piston, or as my steam engine rather. Same piston as that, basically. And it was a 2-stroke engine. I had a plastic... So my flywheel... I had a plastic like piece of a jar for the behind the crankcase, because you have to have, for a 2-stroke engine, you have to have when the piston comes back, it actually compresses the gases in the crankcase, which is where the so the fuel air mixture goes through a check valve into the crankcase, and then once the piston comes back, it actually compresses the gases back there and opens up a port, and then it goes into the engine, into the cylinder. So for some reason, I built it out of plastic, which wasn't the best choice, but I was just kind of slapping it together real quick, and I used lots and lots of hot glue. So basically, it almost worked. When you would start feeding fuel into it, I basically had a little electric motor for a starter, just turning it over, and I was looking at the current draw on that, and when I would start feeding propane into it, or some fuel, the current draw would go down by about half, and the piston, or the cylinder, would get hot, and you could hear it firing a little bit. but it was really, really weak. It wasn't able to power itself. It was just able to reduce the current load on the motor by half. So it kind of almost worked. So I think what I didn't have enough compression for one, and my my inlet and outlet ports were too small, I think, and probably misplaced. And also, I don't think my ignition system was working very well. So there was also a lot of friction as well with the way I built it, and it just wasn't the best design. So I really need to redesign it, and I have a really good idea, really good way to build it in mind, and I'm thinking about it. So that video I may be doing something like that soon. I'll give you an update on that, guys. But what else? I need to do another run of my steam engine. I've been meaning to hook a generator up to that for a while, so that should be coming soon, whenever I get around to it. I don't know, I always say all these videos I'm going to do, and then I just keep putting them off. It's awful. But, yeah, there'll be videos coming soon, so, just what I've been thinking about and working on lately. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. It's awesome. 10,100 now, so it's amazing. So, yeah, but, and, yeah. Thank you guys. Also, thank you so much for putting up with the ads. I really appreciate that, because actually I'm starting to look at my income now on YouTube, and it's going to help me pay for college. So that is really awesome. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. So maybe I won't be in debt as much when I get out of college, so that'll be awesome. So, but yeah, thank you all so much for everything, and see you in the next video. Keep experimenting.